Hi Pisces, welcome to AshunasTarot. I went ahead and pre-shuffled and laid out the spread and connected to spirits. I'm going to be more present on YouTube. I had a couple things to take care of, but I'm going to be posting more reading content. And for anybody who's requested a private readings are going to be sent out tonight and tomorrow morning. Information's in the description box below, okay? So to include your name, your birthday, and your questions so that you get your private reading within the 24 to 48 hours. But with that being said, Pisces, let's go ahead and get started. King of Cups in the reverse is the general energy for this reading. And right off the bat, Pisces, this is not going to resonate for everyone, but what I'm picking up with this energy is that there is or was recently some kind of relationship in your life that became emotionally manipulative towards you, okay? And this caused you to have your defenses up. And this Nine of Wands coming out, I did 3 readings yesterday, and I had this Nine of Wands come out in every single reading. So I don't know what that's about, but usually when something like this happens after I pre-shuffle, it means that there's a continuation of that energy. Like that energy is still very present for whoever resonates with this reading. So again, if it's not your reading, please don't make it fit. But whoever I'm speaking to, King of Cups, there's a relationship in your life that recently turned emotionally manipulative. But what I'm getting with this King of Cups in the reverse is that it might have been that way for a while now, but all of a sudden it kind of like just, it came to the surface. Like it was, all of a sudden it was a lot more obvious than it ever was before. And so with this Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands, what I'm getting from this is boundaries, like straight up, because Nine of Wands talks about being defensive and having your walls up. And in the reverse, Nine of Wands talks about like not necessarily having to be guarded all the time, but that's not necessarily the case because I have a 3 of Swords here. There is a death and a rebirth, and there is justice to this situation. So whatever this relationship was in your life, whatever this connection was in your life, there's a need to establish your boundaries at this time. 7 of Wands. And for some of you, I'm getting the fact that you're very well aware who this is in your life and what this relationship like what this relationship is in your life, because 7 of Wands, some of you have already been trying to establish boundaries here because it's like the kind of energy that I get from this card is kind of like a passive aggressive energy to where, you know, they can say it with a smile on their face, but they're still throwing you like low blows, or like they're still trying to emotionally manipulate you, or they're still like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like once upon a time, this energy may have seemed like emotionally mature, or like they did the right thing. Like, I don't know how to explain this energy, but it's twisted. You know, the King of Cups is not in the upright. The King of Cups is in the reverse. So what this is coming in as is that this relationship, or like they might have been aware how to pull on your emotions. And they might have known how to get to you, like the things that moved your emotions, the things that moved your heart, the things that matter to you. And, you know, in the past, it's like they might have kept appearances really well, okay? And with this energy, it's like they master the emotions pretty well, like to the point where maybe they hide their true emotions or their true intentions behind appearances. What I'm getting from this is like a person that can say something with a smile on their face, like but something that is like, I don't know, it's a complicated energy to describe, but this is not a person of integrity. This is not a person that means you well. And as soon as they don't see a use in the relationship, as soon as they're not getting what they need out of you, as soon as you establish boundaries, is when they start to show this like passive aggressive side to them. And what I'm getting from the Nine of Wands and the 7 of Wands is that there's a major lesson here for you about boundaries in this kind of relationship, because this is not the kind of person that is like straight up like will say it to your face, or that is aggressive, or no, like this is like that passive aggressive kind of like silent behind the scenes, will say it with a smile on their face, but it's a weird kind of energy, Pisces. And what I'm seeing here is that they might have made things seem like you needed them for something, like your stability or your resources or your home depended on them in some way, somehow, because 5 of Pentacles talks about lack and feeling like you're left out in the cold, feeling like you're on the outskirts of it, feeling like there is no security, no foundation, and there's scarcity. Because the 4 represents the foundations, the 5 in this case, when it comes to Pentacles, represents the lack of foundations, the lack of security, the lack of stability, and that scarcity, whether it's a scarcity mindset or actually like poverty, you know? And so I feel that in the past, this relationship or this connection, some way, somehow connected to your stability and sense of well-being. So again, I don't know who this is in your life. I won't try to tap too much into that energy because then it begins to get more specific. So basically the main takeaway from this for the ones that resonate is that you're already seeing this come to the light. You're already seeing this person's true colors, and you're seeing that. And honestly, for some of you Pisces, I think that you kind of knew all along that this is who they were, but the relationship might have been mutually beneficial at one point, to where you were helping them in a sense and they were helping you in a sense. And it's like the balance was there at some point. Like this was mutually beneficial at some point. And when things began to unfold, when things began to change in this dynamic, and they began to feel like they were losing a hold on you, and again, maybe they held resources, maybe it had to do with your living situation or some sense of stability, or maybe even a home, you know? And so when they felt like they were losing a grip on you, this passive aggressive side to them started to show. And the thing is, like, when it's mental manipulation, a lot of Pisces can see that from a mile away. But when it's emotional, we have to be very careful, because again, Pisces have such a big heart, and it's very easy to tap, not necessarily very easy, but when someone knows how to get to your emotions, when someone knows how to get to you, it's very easy to pull on those strings once they know what matters to you, once they know what moves you. And for example, like, this can just be that you care for animals a lot, right? And so maybe someone's like, oh, I found a dog in the street, and they don't want to take the dog in, or they don't want to do anything about it, but they'll call you and say, hey, I found this dog in the street, you know, they're all alone, they're hungry, they won't do anything for the dog, but because they know that you care for animals, it's like they'll kind of like push it on you. And because you care for animals, and it's not for them, but it's for the dog, like, it's just an example, right? Like, you would go and help, like, it's like they knew the things that matter to you, and that's kind of where they pulled the strings from. But what I'm seeing here is that these are some of the most dangerous relationships to have around you, Pisces, because again, someone who says it to your face, at least you know from the start, you know what's up, you know, at least you know from the start that this is not a person you can trust, and at least they'll say it to your face, or, you know, or you can pick up from their intentions from the start. But when it's an emotionally manipulative energy, they have more access because of Pisces' nature, because Pisces is so caring. Okay, like if this was someone who was mentally manipulative, you know, towards a Libra, who is just very like mental, it would be a different kind of situation, because mental manipulation and logic, Libras understand that very well because of the air energy, right? But when it comes to emotional manipulation and Pisces, you know, the heart, the emotions, these are the kinds of people that are dangerous to keep around in your circle. And so what I'm getting from here is that once upon a time, this might have been a mutually beneficial relationship, but not anymore, Pisces. It's like some kind of contract here has ended between you guys, and now the relationship has become more toxic, whoever this is in your life. And again, this is not going to resonate for everyone, but this feels pretty recent. Like, it feels like there's still a sting there. 3 of Swords. There's still a little bit of pain there, and I feel that you're handling it very well, but it's still, once upon a time, it had a strong hold on you. I don't know how to explain this, because for some of you, I'm getting that it had to do with your living situation, with your stability, with your finances, with your resources, because that's what the 5 of Pentacles represents: security, stability. But for others of you, it was just someone who would know how to pull on your emotions. And it's one of those dangerous energies. Again, they do it behind the scenes, they do it behind closed doors, they'll say it with a smile on their face, you know. Passive aggressive, it's, you know what I'm getting, is the kind of person that says no offense, but then they say something offensive, that's kind of like, it's kind of feels like that. I don't know. But it's an energy that stings a little bit. And what I'm getting here is that this contract between the two of you has come to an end. So staying here is only going to bring more heartbreak. When contracts, because we have contracts with soulmates, with family members, with romantic relationships, with workplaces, with certain locations, there are contracts in our life in every area that our soul has preordained before we come here so that we learn certain lessons, right? And so people, situations, relationships, environments have an expiration date in our life. And that expiration date comes about when we're no longer learning from each other, when we're no longer evolving together, right? Like it becomes more toxic, it becomes more detrimental, whether it's an environment, a person, a relationship, it becomes more detrimental rather than helpful, right? So once we learn all of our lessons and there's no more evolution and there's no more progress, that's when the contract is over. And so what I'm getting here is that this contract, whatever this relationship was, I don't know who this was to you, this is general, has come to an end, okay? This contract is over, and that's why it's turning more toxic, because once upon a time with the justice, it was mutually beneficial and it was balanced. There was something that you could do for them and there was something they could do for you. And it was a very balanced relationship. It was mutually beneficial. But as time progressed, as you guys learned the lessons from each other, and honestly what I felt is there was this shift within them. Something shifted within them, and then they started to treat you a little bit differently, because I see the heartbreak here. Like there's some kind of heartbreak, there's a little bit of pain, a little bit of like, I don't get like this was something major maybe, but it's like it's something that you felt. Like you started to feel their energy shifting. You started to feel their words a little bit differently. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. This could have been even a business partnership, a friendship, a family member, some kind of relationship in your life. But it does have to do with relationships, because King of Cups is talking about the emotional manipulation and the kind of hold they had on you, okay? And this is, again, it's a energy to be careful of, because it's like that passive aggressive, right? Like, you know, they can be shaking your hand, but they're holding a sword in the other hand, right? Like behind their back. They'll say it with a smile on their face. They'll say no offense and then offend you. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from that. And Three of Swords, there was heartbreak here, because once upon a time, because this relationship worked so well in the past, you thought, okay, maybe this is one of the real ones. Maybe this is someone I can count on, because we're helping each other and it's mutually beneficial. Maybe this is a relationship that is worth nourishing and keeping, so that, you know, if we ever need each other, that we're there for each other, because there's something that each one of us brings to the table, right? And so what I'm getting here, again, like I said, something shifted within them first. And because of that shift, they start to treat you differently, which brought in this heartbreak where, and the thing is for Pisces know it and see it before it even happens. So you started to feel the change, you started to feel the shift. And it's not, okay, there's two kinds of Pisces, okay? There's Pisces that when they feel that, they know it's time to end the connection. And there's Pisces that will stay longer and prolong the heartbreak. And that's when it gets toxic. That's when it gets really, sometimes even dangerous. You know, that's when it gets very, very negative, okay? There's Pisces that feel that switch, that feel that flip in the energy, and they'll be the first ones to end it on good terms, because they know that it's ending, okay? Like, there's a lot of Pisces that have that wisdom, because they've been through so many relationships, because they lived so many lives, that when they feel that shift, even if they don't want to admit it, they know what they have to do. And so because Pisces has gone through this lesson so many times, they've gained this wisdom that, again, even if they don't want to admit it, even if they don't want to see it, they know when it's time to leave, okay? And I saw a quote the other day saying that Pisces is the master of disappearing. And yes, it's true. Pisces is the master of disappearing, but why does that happen? What happens before Pisces decides to disappear and go MIA? Something shifts in the energy. Pisces doesn't just leave, like, out of nowhere. Like, Pisces is very wise, and they see it happening before it happens. So why prolong it? Why stay there longer? It's like, would you rather feel the heartbreak once, or would you rather feel it every single day the longer you stay, getting worse and worse, okay? So what I'm getting here is two different kinds of Pisces, okay? This Pisces and this Pisces. These Pisces, once they feel that shift, they know it has to end. Even if it hurts, they're the first ones to make that call and try and end things on good terms. You know, they'll say, hey, you know, I'm very grateful that you came into my life, blah, 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 good things. And, you know, I'm going to bring closure to this connection. I wish you the best in your life. And they'll feel the heartbreak, but they'll feel it once and it'll be healthy. It'll be a death and a rebirth, right? But there are other Pisces that will really try to hold on. When they feel that things are shifting, when they feel the other person changing towards them, maybe acting more manipulative, maybe acting more controlling, maybe pulling away, they feel lost, and they and it's normal, but eventually these Pisces become these Pisces. The Pisces that are here are only here because they had to go through this. So again, apply it to your situation. Depending on where you find yourself on this side of things, you know, there's no need to, like, be honest with yourself, because if this reading resonates, I feel that you have known that this relationship was no longer balanced, okay? And this didn't come from you. I'm getting that you were doing everything the same. Like, you were still good. You always show up with respect. Even if they have these, like, little comments that they slip in there, or like this passive aggressive kind of attitude, you always stay in integrity. You always stay grounded in your center. And, you know, you're not the type of person to just flip-flop, you know, like other people. And so that's what I'm getting. It came from them. It's because what I'm feeling here is they started to feel like they were losing a hold on you. And so this passive aggressive energy started to come through, emotional manipulation, trying to pull on your strings. And it's like you kind of saw, you know, like a puppet show. It's like you were kind of seeing behind the curtain what was happening. It was an entire puppet show. All the strings they were pulling, all the moves they were making. You were seeing everything that was happening behind the curtain. And you kind of just sat there in meditation, okay? But you knew what they were doing. It's like all these wands are trying to poke at her. All these wands are trying to poke at her. She's in meditation. She's in her own zone. She's doing her own thing. But they're all trying to get to her. And that's what I'm getting. It's like you were seeing the whole freaking puppet show from behind the curtain. And yes, Pisces, like whatever this relationship was in your life, it's come to an end. There is an expiration date. The longer that you stay in this relationship, and I'm getting a lot of you have already moved on. Like you already placed an end to this relationship. But some people, they stay longer, right? When they feel the energy changing, when they feel the ending coming, they'll hold on tighter. And that's what this causes, this Five of Pentacles kind of energy. Feeling left out in the cold, feeling the scarcity, feeling the loss, feeling the lack, right? And so right now, the most important part, if this is your reading and you resonate with it, it's boundaries. That's what Spirit wants you to master at this time, the boundaries that you have to place with people like this. Because people like this are very slick, Pisces. Not like witty and trying to outsmart you. No, like they'll know what matters to you and they'll pull on those things, right? If it's your kids, if it's your dogs, if you care for a certain cause, you know, it's like those are the strings that they'll try to pull on you. But again, what I'm getting here is that you were seeing the whole freaking puppet show from behind the curtain. So it's like you see them pulling all these strings and doing all this stuff behind the scenes, and you're just at peace. You're just at ease. Yes, you realize who they truly are, but you're not about to go down to their level. And so what I'm getting here is that when you realize this, you placed an end to it, okay? You placed an end to this relationship, and they started to feel your energy pulling away. So they started to lose a grip and control and a hold on you. And that's when they started to go, like, that's when they started to try harder. That's when they tried to pull more tricks out of their sleeve. That's when they tried to manipulate more. When they felt you pulling away and they felt this ending coming, that they had lost a hold over you, they started going all out, Pisces, pulling all the aces out of their sleeve, pulling all the strings from all the puppets. And once upon a time, that might have worked. That might have hurt you a little bit, but not anymore. It's like here, there's all these strings to her heart, right? That's the emotional manipulation. It pulls the strings to the heart, not necessarily to the mind, not necessarily to the logic, but to the emotion. And that's why they got closer to you than a lot of other people have. Because Pisces, you're very wise and you've ascended many levels above a lot of the people around in your environment. You hold a very high vibration, hence the Seven of Wands. But people like this it's not that they have an advantage, it's just that they learn how to get close to you because they know the things that matter to you. And so again, those were the strings that they were pulling. And so again, once upon a time, it might have hurt you, but now you find yourself in the Seven of Wands, okay? you decided to put an end to this relationship, and they felt that. And so it's like they started going all out, and you started to see all the things that they were doing behind the scenes, all the shadiness. And so the lesson here, Pisces, is that yes, this relationship has an expiration date and it has come to an end. And for a lot of you, you brought this end to the relationship once you've seen what they were doing. But for some of you, if you still find yourself here, just know that the longer you hold on to this, the longer they're going to try and pull the strings, okay? So just FYI, like, honestly, I feel a lot of you here, okay? I feel a lot of you in this death and rebirth process because I feel that you were the one to initiate the end to this relationship. Because you didn't want to stay in this energy anymore, okay? Because you've ascended to the next level, and they can't come with you if they're not willing to evolve. And this is who they're showing up as. This person's not about to change, Pisces, okay? This person's not about to change their ways because this is what's worked for them in the past, okay? They're very slick, okay? They're very slick, but beyond that, they've learned how to master their own emotions, okay? Like I said, they'll say no offense, but then they'll offend you and do it with a smile on their face. That's the kind of person they are. And I'm not saying that they're all bad, because with the justice, once upon a time it worked out, but not anymore. This relationship has come to an end, Pisces, and a lot of you brought this end to the relationship. And right now, the most important message coming in, Pisces, is not going to resonate for everyone, is to keep your boundaries strong and healthy. Because they're going to try anything, right? Like if you block them on one phone, they're going to try and text you through another one, right? Or if you already said your goodbyes, they're going to try and text you about something else. It's like because they've lost a hold, they lost a grip on you, they're just kind of throwing anything they can throw and see what sticks. And so your lesson here with the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Wands is boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Like I can't emphasize that enough, because this is a major lesson for you too. The lesson for you is to enforce your boundaries. The lesson for them is that they can't go about their life manipulating people emotionally. And what I'm getting here as the King of Cups in the reverse, that's their shadow side. They operate out of their shadow. And this is how they, it's like they're very manipulative with everyone in their life. And this is their second nature now. They're so used to emotionally manipulating people in their life to get the things that they want, that's how they operate. It's just, to them, it's normal now. They don't see it as like, oh, I'm doing something shady or something sneaky. Like, this is normal to them now. Like, if you were to confront them, they wouldn't think that they're doing anything wrong. Okay? Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't even want to tap into their energy, Pisces, because the lesson is here. Okay? There is an ending to this relationship. It's for the best, and you brought this ending in because of this, okay? No more shadiness, no more heartbreak, no more emotionally manipulating you, no more having a hold on you. Keep your boundaries strong through this process, Pisces, because you've done the right thing, okay? You've done the right thing. If anything was imbalanced in your life because of what they did, the balance is being restored as you hold your boundaries strong at this time. This is very important, because if you allow them to keep coming in, this 3 of Swords is going to keep you in the cycle longer, okay? But if you hold your boundaries strong, the balance is restored, and they are going to receive their lessons and their karma from spirits. Because the balance was tipped, because they were having more access to you, if that makes sense. So again, it's pretty straightforward, Pisces. Keep your boundaries strong and healthy through this time so that the balance gets restored back into your life, whether it was financial, whether it was some kind of heartbreak, whatever this was. Balance is being restored at this time because you're holding your boundaries strong. So continue. Don't have a moment of weakness. Don't let them back in, because if you do, Pisces, it's just going to perpetuate the cycle, okay? And this cycle is what causes the imbalance and the lack. If you hold your boundaries, 9 of Wands, 7 of Wands, you move on to the next level, and they get their karma for their actions, because you can't go around manipulating people. And again, this person is so used to it that they just live life this way. So Pisces, with that being said, that's all I have for this reading. If you would like a personal reading, the information is in the description box below. Make sure to include your questions, your name, and your birthday. Blessings, Pisces. Take care.